Dear Mr. Anonymous at Exhibition Ctr Railway Station, 2332 today. Welcome to the Wall of Fame. Now, I'll tell you, this actually doesn't involve me, but I was witness to it. It pure sucked dick. And in fact, probably dick would be probably better. But anyway. Right, so I am standing near the heater bit, and just behind the turnstiles to get onto the platform. And I was aware of this guy coming down the stairs, 6 foot, reasonably thin, wearing one of them fake tongue tied. Anyway, that should be all fair. Anyway, I was coming down the stairs, and he had a fake Slipknot hoodie on, bought from the place just up the stairs. These mad people that pop up right at the door or the mouth of the big bridge thing going to the hydro, right? So he came down and didn't really think too much of anything, but he went through one set of barriers before coming through mine. But he immediately zoned in on this, I would say, IC2 human being, as in IC2 female, probably about that height, probably about the kind of 5'2" area. He went up to her and stuck the middle finger right in her face. And maybe as a what I call a coping technique, she just said, don't understand. And he returned it again, right in her face, and said, you'll fucking understand when I'm finished. And then batter through the barriers that were previously called my barrier, and the gates are open, but if they weren't open, they would have broke through anyway. And further to say, when he was going to come onto my platform, there's actually a light dangling from the storm, so I hope that clubs him in the face. But back to the incident, I was actually on the phone at the time to someone, and you just heard me going, what the fuck is that all about? Right? And then I kind of put the phone to the side, and as he was coming through to go through my barrier, and hey, you're a wanker. Right? And they didn't respond. See, when people have done something particularly awful, you could hit them with the worst insult going. They wouldn't react because they know they've done bad. So to really get his attention, I went, oi, you, turn around. And he turned around and I went, this is for you. And he just battered through, like nothing ever happened. What I mean by battered through, that's a bad terminology, because he just glided through the open barriers. After a certain time at night, the barriers just automatically open. But anyway, that's for real buffs. But anyway, so, I continued my phone call over, and I made sure the lady who had been assaulted, that is actually assault, it's not beat your piece or anything like it. I made sure she heard me saying that was fucking awful what happened, right? And I said that should never happen to anybody. Now, there was no what you call racial connection. It was just a cunt, right? And that was the purest example of just being a cunt. There had been no what you call force story, like, it wasn't like, she was a G4S security guard, folks. It wasn't like he had a negative interaction with her as part of the hydro, right? These two people had no story. He just looked at her, went up to her, and done right like that. He was actually on our train, might I tell you, right? When my train came in, I went into the front carriage, and he went into the last of the three, right? Some people call it couch A, B, C. You know what? I don't care. I don't care. I really don't. right? And I just thought, what an actual fucking dick. What fucking possesses this mayhem? And there was no prior story. He just, it's called a drive-by incident, where there's no prior story before and there's no prior story after. It's just a horrible bang middle and then gone. It's happened to me quite a few times, and it's fucking awful because there are people. I mean, I've actually had my personality kind of tested through a thing to see what type of personality I am. The term is ESFJ. We like to hear a beginning, middle, and after. We don't like to have us just bang and nothing else. It confuses us, it really messes our thinking up. You know, we like the beginning, the middle, the after, right? We like to see what makes a story move round. We don't want to be told a story's moving round. We are wanting to know the general flow of it moving round and stuff. I've done a lot of interesting kind of research into this behind the scenes. ESFJ. There's a fair variety of these different personalities. It's not just ESFJ. There are, like, I think it's ISFJ or something as well, and various others, and it's really quite fucking interesting. It's the Myers-Briggs test, folks, by the way. It really is quite revealing, and it can explain why people have certain traits and others don't, kind of thing. But yeah, I love talking about Myers-Briggs, actually. It really is pretty damn interesting. It can sometimes, I mean, I even talked about it with a psychiatrist, right, that I have, right? And when I talked about ESFJ, I didn't get stopped. I didn't get, kind of diverted. Like, it kind of, the conversation just kind of flowed on its own thing. So that could be quite good. Yeah, I got home absolutely fine. Guy had never had one more word to say. The one that brought this incident to the wall of fail. Why did it come to the wall of fail? Simple. Here we go. Right. You know these blue stickers on the train that says 61016, see it, sort it? The most likely thing is, if I went chasing that, it would be the person that received the violent incident would be regarded as an uncooperative witness, as in she says, not interested, it happens all the time, blah blah blah, right? And that's everyone's right to either take it forward or take it not, right? And then there's outcome two. If she wanted to take it up and base me as a witness, and then in that circumstance, the third part, apart from me and her, would be the actual perpetrator. And if he gets off at a station, the CCTV is not working, we're fucked. Right? So now, if there is anything on like ScotRail pages, a VTP page, might have a look at it, but ultimately it can be one of two or three circumstances. She doesn't want to go ahead with it. She wants to go ahead with it, but there's no CCTV at the end location. Or three, you could actually change identity in the train journey. I remember a lot of people were buying these hoodies and t-shirts and stuff like this. I'm not punting this. Go and buy your own. I'm no linked to any merch. I'm not like Mr. Beast. Anyway, so yeah, it's a very difficult thing. She was a security guard who was off duty and got assaulted I don't think it was because that she denied him entry or kicked him out for this or that. The next thing, no, he was behaving completely compass mentis, non-drunk, non-anger filled. He just somehow went racing towards her and gave her that, which is absolutely fucking wrong. The only thing I could have ever done by the way I was standing was as he came through the barrier, I say, hey, you're a wanker, right? And he is a wanker, and he needs to know he's a wanker, especially for me. Anyway, and then as he was making his way through, I said, hey, look round. There we are, big boy. Yeah, so go forward, not doing anything with it, but height characteristics, I would say probably 6'2", reasonably thin, wearing a fake Slipknot hoodie from upstairs, yellow writing, black t-shirt, a coat above it as well. Nothing much to comment on the shoes. He was obviously travelling westbound, and he was travelling westbound straight into the waterfall because he's a cunt. And whoever caused him to be, could you have not thought of your Boston Hoover or condoms or femidoms? But anyway, yeah, I really hope something bad happens to him, to be honest. Nasty man. I don't know what got him into that frame of mind, because that concert was fucking brilliant. There's always one that somehow is a dickhead for some reason. I just hope that maybe on his way home something bad happens to him, expresses into him at high speed some humility and some respect into treating his fellow person, or even in this case, a person of the opposite gender. And I tell you something, if he's fucking gagging for his hole and expecting his poke to be wetting sometime in the near future, treating women like that isn't going to work. We don't need to do any woke, because that's a lot of hypocritical pish. Anyway, folks, it's been a bit longer, not any innuendo, but anyway, it's been a long one. It needed to be, and until the next one, me love you long time.